I think this season's been one of great disappointment in Bradford. I mean, but it shouldn't be seen totally as disappointment because the club was saved in January. Andrew Chalmers took over the club on the 13th of January, and we had to put a squad together within 7-8 days to get a game going, and with no players signed up and everything. So whilst it can be seen as a disappointing season throughout, that the fact that they were able to save the club and resurrected the club, and we won with the 12-point deduction, it was always going to be difficult to stay in that division. So even though the club has been relegated with results on the field, was still a positive season, and the new owners are very good for the club and will be very good for the club going forward. They're the right people to run in the club, and I think that whilst, as I said, it could be seen as a disappointment, you've got to look at the bigger picture, and the starting point for the future was this year. The fans are fantastic. They've been great. They've been all over the place. They're going to have some new places to go again next year. But you know, when you look at the size of the crowd here on a Sunday for games against Batley and Dewsbury, and you look at some of the Super League crowds, you realise just what a big rugby city Bradford is. And now Super League really needs Bradford back in there, but it's got to be achieved by the club. September the 3rd, 1999. Is my favourite memory of this stadium. When we played Leeds before the record Super League crowd, 24,022, and Mick Withers dropped a goal in the last minute to win it, 1918. A fantastic game. There must have been a lot of people here that day who'd never been to a rugby league match before, and what a game to see. 18-all, dropped goal in the last minute, and Leeds still had a chance to win the game and dropped the ball on the line at the other end. Great game. It was 102,000 here in 1954 for the replay, Warrington and Halifax. But my first memories of coming here were the 1957 Challenge Cup final, Leeds versus Whitehaven, when Jeff Stevenson dropped the goal in the last minute to win Leeds a trip to Wembley. I also came to the 1961 Championship final. At that point there was 65,000-70,000 people in for both of those games. Just an amazing sight. Had some bad memories here as well. Bad memories with Leeds when I was a Leeds fan, losing to Dewsbury in the 1973 Championship final, which should never have happened, and some bad ones here with Bradford, games that we shouldn't have lost that we did, you know. But some great memories here with Bradford, you know. It was and the game day experience when we were at the top of the peak in Super League, the music and the fans and the colour in the stadium and the vibrancy was the best place. In fact, Bradford defined Super League for the first 10 years of it. There's something great about being here. There's something great about going to Batley. There's something great about going to Wakefield and standing there where people have stood for 100 years. And this place is an awesome stadium. When it's full, it's rocking, it's good, and the terracing lends itself. It's, you know, when you come in here, you don't realise that you're actually above the level of the stands. When you come in, above the level of the roof of the stand, and to look down on and to see this bowl, and particularly when it's full, which it's not been for a few years, but when it was full, was an incredible sight. It was a very intimidating place. I think, and I quote from Brian McDermott here, who played here for a long time, that some teams were beaten when their bus reversed down behind the post at the far end of the stadium where the banqueting suite is now, was the old speedway pits, and the bus used to have to reverse its way down there, and the noise and the music and the fans, I think some sides were beaten by the intimidating atmosphere. When we're there, I remember Leeds, when Leeds came one year, they were that disturbed by it that they actually went and got changed and got ready at the Cedar Court Hotel and didn't arrive for the game until 20 minutes before the game, because they felt that intimidated about the atmosphere here at that time. That was when Daryl Powell was the coach.